I'm going to give you the top 5 players that can absolutely change the trajectory of the West Virginia Mountaineer football program. And all 5 of these guys are on the roster. We're going to have that conversation. I'll give you my list right now. What is up, and welcome into this episode of Couz's Corner, your home for top shelf college sports news and analysis surrounding the West Virginia Mountaineers and occasionally the Big 12. Let's go ahead and dive into the show. The top 5 players who will transform the West Virginia Mountaineer football program. And all 5 of these guys, as I mentioned, are currently on the roster. Now, I thought about putting down people like Camden Goforth, the O-lineman who's verbally committed, who's an absolute monster. I thought about putting Kevin Brown, who's being recruited heavily by West Virginia, one of the top O-linemen in the class, a Penn State commit who's now opening up his recruitment because of the coaching situation that just came on a visit last week. Yes, both of those guys could be transformative, but neither are on the roster yet. They may not even arrive in Morgantown. There's no guarantee they even play for the team next year. So I decided to only stick with guys who are currently on the roster. And these are guys who are not only making a difference this year, but I think are going to be the key centerpieces in getting this program back to their winning ways. And I'm going to give you my top 5 from 5 to 1. And we're going to start off with number 5, and that's quarterback Scotty Fox. Now, I know because he's a quarterback, you could put him at number 1. But I think because we've really only seen a small sample size so far of Fox. Now, we've seen bright spots. We've seen how good he can be in his performance last week against TCU, and his ceiling is extremely high. We've seen him break off some really big runs in previous games as well. But he needs to do it consistently, so therefore I put him at number 5 instead of higher up the list. But when you look at Scotty's numbers so far, he has an average PFF grade of 47.4 overall and an average PFF passing grade of 46.7. However, last week in the TCU game, he had a 64.1 overall grade and a 66.2 passing grade. His run grade overall this year is 55.1. His passing statistics, 59.1% completion percentage on 39 of 66 passing, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, the 2 picks, both of those coming in the Pitt game. Now, it'll be interesting to see how he handles a game this coming week where the other team will be preparing for him to be the number 1 guy on the road against a really good defense in Houston. Now, the last time he started on the road, it did not go well against UCF. Can he build off of last week's performance and get better? We'll see. But I do think Scotty Fox, I'd like to see him keep Khalil Wilkins as well. But I think Scotty Fox, to me, has a high ceiling and is the one quarterback you need to make sure you keep around for next year and going forward. Not only because of his talent, but also the fact he's only a freshman, and you can build with him. And he can help teach the other players the culture of the program. Number 4 on the list, offensive lineman Nick Cray. When you look at Nick Cray, he has started every game this year, has been one of the most consistent linemen. Yes, he has a lot of room for improvement, but he's been consistent. And he has a lot of room for growth. Remember, he was on the roster last year but did not play much, if at all. But he's a redshirt sophomore, has played 573 snaps this year, 61.1 overall grade, which is 19th on the team, a 66.2 pass blocking grade, which is 11th on the team, 4th on the team among those who've played over 100 snaps. His run blocking grade is 57.4, which is below average. However, it's 10th on the team of those who have played at least 100 snaps and 3rd among O-linemen who have played over 100 snaps. So nobody on the O-line is blocking good on the run game right now. Nick Cray is included, but he is the 3rd highest of that group. But his pass blocking has been pretty good, has been slightly above average. And you've got a redshirt sophomore player who's played 573 snaps in Rich Rod's system. I think it's something you can build on. So I like the fact he's young. I like the fact he's experienced in this system now. You build off that. So Nick Cray, to me, is a player you need to try to keep around. Now, really, is he more important to keep than Scotty Fox? That's debatable. Only reason I put him above him is because he is an offensive lineman, and the offensive line room is really struggling right now. All right, number 3 on the list, and this might be low to some of you, but I'll give you my explanation. That's Jahiem White, the running back. Yes, I think Jaheim's a key piece to keep around. But many people argue that the running back position is one that's easier to find a replacement, and that there is some truth to that. And I do think Rich Rod will find good running backs even if it's not Jahiem White. Now, will they be as good as Jahiem? I don't know. But I think he's proven over time and through his career he can get the best out of his running backs. But when you look at Jahiem overall, obviously he's out for the rest of the season with an injury after playing the entire Robert Morris game and only a series or two in the Ohio game. But when you look at his career numbers, he had a 91.6 overall PFF grade in 2023, a 77.1 grade in 2024, and what he was able to do in 2025, he had a 71.1 grade, so still good. He's averaging 6.4 yards per attempt in his career. That includes 5.5 yards per attempt this year, even with the O-line struggles that West Virginia has had. Now, most of that was against a FCS opponent, so maybe take that with a little bit of a grain of salt, but still not too shabby. Now, when you compare that to Ty Edwards in the one game he played this year, along with a couple snaps, a couple rushes against BYU, Ty Edwards has a 73.6 overall run grade this year. But when you look at Jahiem, man, the fact he's injured makes me a little bit nervous. How will he recover from the injury? It's not his first injury either to the lower part of his body. That's a little concerning. But we've seen what Jahiem can do. We've seen how good he is, and we know how important a running back is to Rich Rod's system. And now Jahiem has a year in the system, even though he's not playing. He does have some snaps in the system, and he is able to study film. He's able to be around the coaching and all of that. And hopefully he'll, be around during spring. Not sure how much he'll get to play in the spring. But by the time fall camp rolls around, Jahiem should hopefully be good to go. We'll see. But nonetheless, you got a running back who's experienced in the system and who will know what Rich Rod expects, and we know he's talented. So that's why I think Jahiem is important. Now, why is Jahiem not higher on the list? Well, the reason he's not above this next guy is because this next guy is one of the few players who have a lot of experience who will actually be returning from the defensive side of the football, and that's Curtis Jones Jr. Almost everyone who's been starting on the defense are seniors. Most of them transfers. Curtis Jones Jr., not a senior. He's actually a sophomore playing the bandit spot. And his PFF grades aren't, elite by any means, but they're solid. And he's made a lot of plays. He's very versatile, has played multiple positions. Heck, he even lined up for one snap at cornerback, according to Pro Football Focus. But when you look at Curtis Jones, he's 6'4", 220, has a 57.9 overall PFF grade, 61.9 run defense grade, only a 33.5 tackling grade. He's struggled to tackle, has a lot of missed tackles, but at least he's around the football a lot, which is a positive. He can improve on his tackling. Has a 58 pass rush grade, which is below average, but again, he'll improve. He's a young player. He's played about 230 snaps so far on the season. 53.6 coverage grade. When you look at his, overall stats, he has 10 QB pressures, which I think was good for like fourth on the team. He has a sack, 3 QB hits, and 6 QB hurries. So he's getting into the backfield. He's causing chaos. He's flying around. He's hitting people. He's a menace on the defensive side of the ball, despite these PFF grades being lower than what you want to see. And because of his age, because him being a West Virginia kid doesn't hurt either. And heck, he's such a good athlete. They're even considering playing him at running back some in this game coming up against Houston. What's that tell you about the young man? He's just a really good athlete. And he's young. He can be around a while. So I think you need to make sure this young man, do what you can do to keep this young man on the roster, assuming he wants to stay. So I have Curtis Jones at number 2 just because he's one of the few pieces you have to build on defensively who's played a lot of snaps. And then number 1, I think this is not going to be a surprise to any of you. That's Cam Vaughn, the wide receiver. 66.1 overall grade for this redshirt sophomore. 66.6 receiving grade. 67.2 run blocking grade, which is pretty good for a wide receiver. 80.8 grade last year at Jacksonville State overall. So that just shows you what he's capable of doing. And he did that as a redshirt freshman, y'all. He has 27 receptions on the year for 411 yards, 15.2 yards per catch with 3 touchdowns. And that's playing behind with a quarterback playing behind a line that's not been playing well. Quarterbacks who've been inconsistent have struggled to get him the football, yet he's still putting up decent numbers. And we saw last week when they get him involved in the game plan, what can happen. He's dangerous. I'm not even sure it's arguable that he's the most dangerous player on the offensive side of the football with the ball in his hands. At least he has been so far. You can just throw it up and he can go make a play. He's an elite athlete, in my opinion. I think he's an NFL caliber talent. You've got to do what it takes. And there's been some rumblings that he's unhappy because of he's not getting the football enough and things like that. So if I'm Rich Rod, I'm doing whatever it takes to keep Cam Vaughn on my roster. So again, to recap, the top 5 guys you keep around and who will be transformative for WVU football going forward are Scotty Fox at number 5, Nick Cray at number 4, Jahiem White at number 3, Curtis Jones Jr. at number 2, and Cam Vaughn at number 1. Give me your list in the comments section. Who are the most transformative players for West Virginia football who can get this program turned around and back to winning Big 12 games on a consistent basis and competing, hopefully, for conference championships in the future? Let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on this video. Don't forget the hype button below between download and thanks on your mobile device. You can also support me financially if you choose. You can buy some merch, like this hat here, for example. You can become a VIP channel member where you get, random shout outs, where you get first dibs on comments and live streams and on videos. And if you're a club level member, the $4.99 level, you get early access to some content as well. But here are the random shout outs of this episode: Henry of Skalitz, Virgil Milburn, James Buchanan, Big E 7375, and Freezing Apes 2000. Thank you all for being paid VIP members. If you want to join that club, hit the join button below. If you don't see a join button on your device, go to my channel homepage. It's right there beside my profile photo. There's also a link in the description of this video. Want to remind you about my sponsor, Appalachia Digital. They are the fine folks who design our website over at wvsportschat.com, where you find written content on the Mountaineers. They designed the site. They did a great job designing the site. They can do the same for you. If you have a small business or you want to start a blog, whatever, they can design you a site. Go to appalachiadigital.com/Couz. Let them know I sent you. If you already have a site, you want to upgrade it or get found easier on Google, they can do that too. Again, appalachiadigital.com/Couz. Let them know Couz sent you. I appreciate you tuning into this episode. There's another video that YouTube thinks you might like right here in the corner of the screen. Check it out. Hope the rest of your day's top shelf. God bless you, and Q Country Roads.